Hey guys, it's Thursday, September 14th, 2017. This is the Daily Mix TV. So this weekend on Sunday, it's Palooza 2017 Fall Edition. Palooza happens twice a year in May and September, so it bookends the summer in terms of the heavy adoption season. It's put on by the Mayor's Alliance for New York City's Animals, as well as Petco and Petco Foundation, and Rock and Rawhide. Rock and Rawhide is the charity, remember, that my wife Kylie and I created 5 years ago to help increase the level of adoptions of dogs and cats in shelters. Now, every Palooza, I take the stage and MC for the entire 6 hours that we're up. This year, we've got over 40 rescues in shelters featuring over 400 dogs, cats, puppies, kittens, rabbits, all available for adoption at Union Square Park North, directly across from Petco Union Square. You know, I love hosting this event because it's so much fun. We try and have a really good, entertaining event for people. There are tens of thousands of people in Union Square. And guys, given what's happened in Texas with Hurricane Harvey, certainly what just happened in Florida with Hurricane Irma, there are a lot of rescues that are bringing animals up from those storm-ravaged areas to New York to find responsible and loving homes for them. So please come down to Union Square Park North between noon and 5 o'clock on Sunday. Come say hi to me on the stage. I'm there with the Alliance's spokesperson, Stephanie Matera. We got a lot of surprises in store, a lot of family fun activities. You got sponsors like Natural Balance, Lucy's Pet Products, Merrick. You've got Petco themselves have so many things that they're offering adopters to help get you off on the right start with your new forever friend. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, it's Union Square Park North from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock this coming Sunday, the 17th. Come say hi to me on the stage. Would love to say hello to you. Now, as we all know, every holiday season, retailers take on what they call seasonal workers. That's in order to stem the avalanche of consumers that break down the doors for those sales and so on. Now, over the last couple of years, the number of seasonal workers in the mix has been trending down. Now, as usual, Target is looking to buck that trend. Target's hiring roughly 100,000 workers for the holiday season this year, which is about a 40% increase from last year, as well as an extra 4,500 for its fulfillment centers in order to get those packages to you in time for Christmas. Now, one of the first retailers to announce holiday hiring this year, Target is taking job applications starting today and holding hiring events throughout the month of October at every single store. Now, retail has seen more U.S. cuts in jobs than any other industry this year. But holiday hiring is something, it's a bit of an anomaly because, look, retailers make about a third of their annual sales during the holiday season. So that's Black Friday until December 31st or January 2nd, depending on how you view the sales cycle going into the new year. But they literally make their nuts, why it's called Black Friday, starting the day after Thanksgiving all the way through the holiday. So they need those extra hands to take on the sheer volume of consumers that enter their doors every year. So love the fact that Target is doing this. They always buck the trend. God knows they're always ahead of it. So I love Target for that reason. Can't wait to see what holiday results are going to happen for this year on their side, because they do have a lot of innovation in the pipe. Now, I'm not sure whether to be happy or sad on this next one. It's bad news for cable and satellite TV. Cord cutting is exploding. U.S. consumers have canceled traditional TV service at a much faster pace than what was expected, according to research firm eMarketer. Now, some 22 million U.S. adults are expected to cut the cord this year, which is a 30% increase over, or 33% increase over last year. So consumers who've never subscribed to traditional TV or satellite service are also a growing problem. eMarketer expects to see about 34 to 35 million cord nevers by the end of this year, which is almost a 6% bump from last year. Now, that's typically a millennial or an older generation Z who's just getting out on their own. Gen Xers are pretty typical in terms of their behavior pattern, unless they're a techie or they're looking at some serious financial challenges, in which case they're forsaking traditional TV and phone service for mobile and streaming. Now, these trends are bad news for traditional TV, which is also facing growing competition from streaming services. eMarketer also dropped its forecast for television advertising by about $1 billion. So it's a scary time to be in media, certainly a scary time to be in entertainment, because you do have those companies, those budgets getting pulled back. Now, here's where I'm not sure if this is good or bad. Frankly, cable companies deserve to have the screws turned against them. People feel that way because of their constant greed, the overbilling they're notorious for, as well as the dishonesty in delivery of services. So what do I mean by that? So the Federal Trade Commission and the FCC have hammered more cable companies for claims that they're providing, high-speed internet at 100 megs per second or 300 megs per second, when in fact they're delivering 20 to 50 to 75 megs per second. So in other words, they're stealing from you. You're paying for a service that you're not getting, and people are tired of it. Now, while I feel bad about that, or good about that part, I feel bad because traditional TV is the foundation of entertainment in the modern era. So what do I mean by that? When you think about how vaudeville led to movies, movies led to TV shows, and now TV shows have led to streaming services. So it's sad to think that because of a bunch of greedy folks, traditional TV may forever change, and not for the better. Now, we'll keep an eye on this as it's a huge issue right now, especially in the markets as Spectrum continues on its path of acquisition, and players like AT&T continue to innovate, increasing their sphere of influence with streaming services like DirecTV Now. I happen to be a DirecTV Now customer. I cord cut about 3 or 4 months ago. Got to tell you, love the service. Don't miss the headaches of the cable box. And unfortunately, a lot of people of my generation, of Generation X, feel that way. So only time will tell. We'll keep an eye on it for you, but I would suspect that it's going to be a very rough fourth quarter for a lot of cable companies. Plus, they really haven't given anyone a reason to believe anymore. I mean, why overpay for a service when you can get it at half the cost at better quality from a streaming service versus having another box in your home that tracks what you watch and all of those things? It's a pain in the neck. So only time will tell. Now, anyone who's been in New York knows the term bodega. 2 former Google workers have started a venture that is threatening to put the bodega out of business. And it's with a name that's a slap in the face of these struggling mom and pop stores. The announcement Wednesday of Bodega, that's actually its name, which is a glorified vending machine for non-perishable items, left these struggling small business owners, their employees, and the neighborhoods they service really angry. Bodega is roughly a 8 cubic foot box with glass doors. It's stocked with non-perishables as well as convenience store fare. Now, users can unlock the doors with their phones while a camera watches what they do, what they remove, and then charges them accordingly. So it's super convenient, and I think that's great. But the company's logo is a clear indication of how these 2 former Google guys thought through the brand. Anyone who's been in a New York bodega knows many of them have cats that live there, and it's done to keep mice and rats away, especially with all the construction we have in New York. Now, their logo is a cat silhouette. So former Google product managers Paul McDonald and Ashwath Rahan baked the concept believing it would replace the brick and mortar bodega, according to a story in Fast Company magazine. Quote, eventually centralized shopping locations won't be necessary because there will be 100,000 bodegas spread out, with one always 100 feet away from you. Look, the company aims to install more than 1,000 of these units in gyms, lobbies, and other public spaces across the country by the end of next year. But remember, a bodega is a local community store. It's often run by somebody who either grew up in that neighborhood or someone who decided to take on that business in that neighborhood for a specific reason, such as they have friends and family in the community or they believe in that community. It's also often where you're going to find those very stereotypical neighborhood New York characters hanging out, speaking with the shop owner or other locals, talking about what's going on in the neighborhood. Now, if Bodega is successful, it really will be the death knell of mom and pop shops like the real bodegas that New Yorkers live and die by every single day. My name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I'm the CEO of Hill Story Marketing. I'm also the editor-in-chief of the Daily Mix TV. We would love to hear from you, so please email us at thedailymixtv@gmail.com. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll catch you then.